Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to According Movies Recap. Today I am going to explain a comedy-drama film called Secret Zoo. Kang Tae-soo works a dead-end temp position at a renowned law firm J.H. Tae-soo dreams of one day landing a permanent position at the firm, but so far he has been unsuccessful. Tae-soo's law firm has been hit with scandals after scandals. Currently, its vice president Min Chul-hyun is in prison for stock manipulation and embezzlement. A group of protesters have been camping outside the JH headquarters for more than a week to protest against the firm for being unjust and exploitative. Tae-soo's college friend Song also works at the firm as an associate. The latter always invites Tae-soo for drinks on the weekends, but Tae-soo doesn't want to face his friends who are a lot more successful than him. One day, JH's CEO Mr. Hwang is mobbed outside the HQ by the protesters. The protesters hurl obscenities at Hwang, which aggravates him, and he gets into a fight with the mob. The mob easily overpowers Hwang, and seeing his boss in trouble, Tae-soo puts himself in the line of fire to save him. The CEO takes notes of Tae-soo being manhandled by the crowd as he drives away. Impressed by him, Hwang invites Tae-soo for dinner, where he meets Rakwon Group's vice president and Hyun's sister, Min Chae-ryung. After Ryung leaves, Hwang gets to know more about Tae-soo. Hwang promises to give Tae-soo a permanent position at JH if he manages to revitalize a failing zoo called Dongsam Park that one of JH's UK-based clients, Gabriel Incorporated, has acquired. Tae-soo couldn't be more excited and accepts the deal immediately. However, Hwang gives him an ultimatum and says that he has exactly 3 months to revitalize the failing zoo. In the next scene, Tae-soo quickly heads over to the zoo, and lo and behold, he learns that the zoo has no animals except for a troubled polar bear and some other animals that no one would pay to see. Tae-soo talks to the remaining zoo staff, and they reveal that the zoo's animals have been taken away by the loan sharks that the zoo's previous owners owed money to. The zoo staff consists of former director Seo, veterinarian Han, Haik-young, and Gunwook. After learning that Tae-soo is the new director of the zoo, Seo proceeds to leave, but Tae-soo convinces him to stay, saying his experience will be needed to bring this zoo back to life. Tae-soo proposes buying animals, but he is told that one can't buy endangered animals. They could seek special permission for research and breeding from the government, but it could take well over 3 months. Later that night, while returning back to his living quarters inside the zoo, Tae-soo is given a scare of a lifetime by a stuffed animal, which he mistakes for a real tiger. One of the laid-off zoo staff reveals that he is taking the stuffed toy to sell it for some money. The next morning, Tae-soo relays his problem to Hwang, but the latter tells Tae-soo to return back if he can't make it work. Realizing that he may no longer have a future at the company if he fails to deliver, Tae-soo promises to make it work at any cost. Tae-soo then notices pictures of the zoo's annual soft toy contest on the wall, and suddenly, an idea strikes him. He proposes the idea of having the zookeepers dress up as animals. He stresses that people won't be able to tell the difference between a realistic animal costume and an animal from a certain distance. The zoo staff quickly get on board in the name of saving the zoo, but Han refuses to partake in the foolishness. However, Tae-soo plays with Han's heartstrings by bringing up the story of her becoming a vet because of Gunwook finds Haik-young despairing by herself and talks to her. She is still reeling from her breakup, and Gunwook offers to take her out on dinner. Meanwhile, Tae-soo notices Black Nose roaming outside in the pit. He then finds Han watching an old childhood video of Black Nose by herself. She reveals that she let Black Nose out of the cage so he could get some fresh air. The two then talk about Black Nose's worsening behavior. She says that no matter how spacious the zoo is, it is still a cement cage for the polar bear. She reveals that she once had an opportunity to send the animal to Canada where it could live in the wild, but she decided to keep it around, hoping that if she did her best, it would get better. She laments her decision and thanks Tae-soo for saving the zoo before parting ways. The next day, Hwang offers Tae-soo a permanent position at JH. Tae-soo is ecstatic at the news. But his happiness soon turns into disappointment when Hwang reveals his plans to bulldoze the zoo and build a resort. Rakwon Group had purchased over 25 million square feet of land around the zoo. And they also wanted to buy the zoo itself, but Hwang's shell company Gabriel swooped in and bought it up. Hwang then ordered Tae-soo to revitalize the zoo so Gabriel could sell the land to Rakwon Group at a much higher price. Tae-soo tries to convince Hwang against selling the zoo, but Hwang dismisses him. Dejected, Tae-soo returns to the zoo to deliver the bad news, but he is surprised by Han and others with a success party. Former employees of the zoo also join the party and thank Tae-soo for giving them their livelihood back. Seeing them so happy, Tae-soo can't bring himself to break the bad news. However, a former employee of the zoo from earlier in the movie arrives and reveals Rakwon's plans to build a resort on top of the zoo. Tae-soo confirms the news and the former employees leave disappointed. Han and others feel cheated by Tae-soo and refuse to hear him out. Left with no choice, Tae-soo returns to his new job in Seoul and gets on with his life. However, he still regrets what's happening to the zoo. When the Rakwon Group's team arrives to demolish the zoo, Seo gets into an altercation with the company staff and injures himself in the process. The zoo staff reunite in the hospital and Han proposes a solution. She suggests opening the zoo and putting Rakwon on blast publicly for trying to demolish it. The public campaign works and the media and environmental activists get all over Rakwon like a bad rash. The development enrages Rakwon's vice president Ryung. And Hwang promises to remove the miscreant employees from the zoo premises. However, it fails to calm Ryung down as her attempts to revamp the image of the company have tanked badly. Hwang promises to resolve the problem as soon as possible and leaves. Hwang is later visited by Hyekyung's ex-boyfriend Sung-min, who tells the CEO the truth about the fake zoo animals. Tae-soo notices Sung-min leaving Hwang's office and figures out that he has ratted them out. Hwang and his assistant immediately leave for the zoo and they are closely followed by Tae-soo. Before Hwang gets to expose them, Tae-soo alerts Han and others about the development. Han stops Hwang from going into the room where the polar bear is kept. Shortly afterwards, Tae-soo joins them and Hwang warns him to tell him the truth about the zoo animals. But Tae-soo continues to feign ignorance. Enraged, Hwang forces his way into the room and finds Black Nose sleeping. Mistaking the bear for a fake one, Hwang challenges the animal, almost getting himself killed in the process. To calm Black Nose, Han lets him into the pit while Hwang proceeds to leave. However, Hwang returns to check the polar bear again. When he becomes certain that the giraffe is fake, Hwang gets into the pit with Black Nose and challenges him again. Black Nose attacks him and Hwang passes out. To save his boss, Tae-soo puts on the polar bear suit and lures Black Nose away from Hwang. It works. And Hwang is brought back to safety but at the expense of Tae-soo, who is attacked by the bear. The angry bear tears Taesu's suit open, exposing him. But fortunately, Taesu manages to run to safety just in time. After the public debacle, Taesu apologizes to his team and offers to take all the blame to protect them. However, Han and others oppose the idea, saying they all are as guilty as him. Haekyung wishes out loud that they could do something about Black Nose and other remaining animals. Suddenly, an idea strikes Taesu yet again. He claims he can save the zoo and goes to meet Rakwon's vice president Ryung. He proposes to run an ecological park for Ryung's resort where the animals could live. This would not only remove the roadblock stopping the construction of the resort, but it would also save Rakwon's image from being tarnished further. Ryung agrees on the condition that Taesu gets Gabriel on board. Through his friend's song, Taesu retrieves hard evidence of Hwang laundering money using Gabriel. Taesu then threatens to leak the documents to the press and police if Hwang doesn't agree to sell the zoo to Rakwon. Reluctantly, Hwang agrees to the deal. Several years pass by and the movie cuts to a scene of Ryung presenting a video of the Rakwon Eco Park consisting of various real wild animals. Seo and others have been hired by Rakwon Group. Moreover, Black Nose has immigrated to Canada. The movie ends with Taesu and Han visiting Black Nose in his natural habitat. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.